Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Taranja with the Citizenship Academy. We're on Domain 2, Lesson 11, Understanding Literary Devices. Our objectives for this lesson are to determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in the text and explain how they're used to support main ideas about the Inca Empire, to differentiate between action verbs and linking verbs, to use the root TRACT to determine the meaning of words, and to determine the correct spelling of targeted spelling words. Our purpose for reading today is to read to closely examine the author's words, sentences, and literary devices, and to gain a deeper understanding of the points the author is trying to make. And our big question is, what factors contributed to the Inca Empire becoming the largest pre-Columbian empire? So today, as you're reading through the chapter on Inca Empire, you're going to take notes as we have previously done on the Aztec. Now, I know this is, says Chapter 5, Aztec City of the Water's Edge. Please ignore that. Today, you're going to be focusing on taking notes for the Inca Empire. So you're going to create a chart just like we've done before. And this one is going to be mainly for the Incas. So remember, as you read your chapter today, you're going to take details that go along with the aspect that you chose. That'll help support your paragraph writing when we get to that. And also the page numbers that you'd like to refer back to if you need help. For your planning note side, leave that column blank. That is going to be another time. This you should have ready for the next lesson. So make sure you're taking notes during the reading today. Okay, feel free to pause the video at any time to read through the chapter better and stronger, and also to take any notes you need to take. Okay, so our word work for today is primitive. Using stone and primitive tools, Mita workers followed the land's natural terrain. Primitive means simple and basic, and it's an adjective. So I kind of chose this picture just because when I think of primitive, I think of like cavemen using their tools. You know, they have the club and the basic stone wheel, things like that. So very, very basic. Okay, so we're going to be talking about action verbs versus linking verbs. Action verbs are showing action, and linking verbs are showing that there's a connection between the subject and the rest of the sentence without it directly having an action with it. So the Inca grew many different crops. Grew is the action verb here because it shows the action as the Inca worked to raise or cultivate the land. So right here is the action verb because that's the action that's taking place. The Inca is the subject or who and what the sentence is about. So this is our subject and this is our action verb. Inca messengers traveled more than 100 miles in a day. Well, if we look at this one, this has another action in it. This one, the action verb is traveled because that's what's happening. And our subject is the Inca messengers. That's who that sentence was about. Cusco was the capital city of the Inca Empire. This is an example of a linking verb. A linking verb is a word that connects or links the subject to a word or words in the predicate that describe it. Linking verbs show no action. Some linking verbs are forms of a verb like am, is, are, was, were. It could also be look, feel, smell, taste, sound. So in this sentence, was is the linking verb and Cusco is the subject. So let's look at this sentence. Inca governors were powerful. In this sentence, the Inca governors is our subject and were is our linking verb. So that's the big difference between action and linking verbs. Action verbs show action. Linking verbs are just connecting the two words, the subject and the predicate, but there's no action involved. So now we're going to look at the root word tract. So the root, the origin of tract is Latin and it means to draw or pull. So prefixes can be added to the beginning of tract and suffixes can be added to the end. Adding prefixes and suffixes can change the part of speech of the root meaning. So if I added the prefix sub, Then we have subtract, so minus away. So it's to draw away from something. So we know that if we subtracted money, we're taking that away. Detract, to draw or take some value or importance. So the rain detracted from the otherwise fun field trip. Well, that took away from that time. A tractor is a vehicle that pulls something such as a farm equipment or a trailer. So they added TOR or OR to the end of that one. So they actually added a suffix there. Distract. Means not, and tract. So to draw attention away from something. So it's similar to subtract and detract. Extract is a verb to remove something by pulling. And then retract is to draw back or take back. So remember, tract means to draw or pull. And by adding prefixes and suffixes, we're actually changing the part of speech. Okay, now our spelling list. These are just some words for us to remember going forward through the rest of the unit. So we have irrational, which is not based on reasons or facts. Intercept, to stop or take something while it's between its starting point and destination. Illegal, not allowed by law. International, between or among countries. Irresponsible, not trusted to do what is right. Illegible, not able to be read. Intersection, the place where parts come together. Irregular, not normal or usual. Interaction, something that's done between or among people. Illogical, does not make sense. Irreplaceable, not capable of being duplicated or exchanged for another item. And intercede, to try to help settle an argument between people. So if you notice, we are using our prefixes IR, IL, and inter. So it's these are really easy for you guys to remember because we kind of talked a little bit about that previously. And that's the end of our lesson for today. I will see you in our next video.